Good evening. This is Maestro Cortello with a Dawn of War 2 Retribution Elite modcast. Today we have a 2v2 on Medean Cliff Mines. Our first player today is Venjitron, playing as the Force Commander, Venjitron. I like to think of that as a robot that deals vengeance. He is playing as the Force Commander. Tanky melee hero, starts out with a chain sword, can get a power sword, a thunder hammer, or a power fist for different purposes, controlling melee, punching vehicles, generally tying things up and being annoying, especially if you get a teleporter pack that makes him like another jump unit. Next up, we got FrozenVapor, playing as an Uthway DLC Farseer. The Farseer is an Eldar support hero, has a lot of spells for either buffing or debuffing, and a few even for some disabling and control. Next up, we got Nazzjack, playing as the Chaos Lord. The Chaos Lord, yet another tanky melee hero. This one cannot be knocked down or suppressed. He starts out with a combi bolter, or a twin linked bolter, and he does some decent range damage, and even better if you get that combi flamer. And he can also get some very powerful melee weapons as well. Lastly, we got Karl Kreutz, playing as the Lord General, because I'm in command, that's why. Lord General is a support hero, the only hero who is a squad, and every single one of his abilities is used for supporting other units. Alright, so it looks like we got Chaos kind of winning their engagement in the middle, but I think the positioning with the blue team, I think if they went for the middle, they would be able to kind of pincer and overwhelm Nazzjack, but as it is, it looks like the two teams are engaging independently, doing it kind of one-on-one style. Unfortunately, these heretics get in. They do not. They use Doom Blast, but they only get the Force Commander. They do not actually get the tax. But the Chaos Lord is already in here, tying up the tactical Marines. That's also making it fairly easy for the heretics to get in while taking minimal damage. Here we should have a Doom Blast, and I think those attacks at this point they're going to need to retreat, or they will take a model loss right there. And Nazzjack being very, very aggressive with the Chaos Lord, and that is definitely something that the Chaos Lord can do. He only has speed 4.5 to start out, but then if you use Heretic Worship, you get a speed boost of 2. So then he would have speed 6.5, which you can be very aggressive with the Chaos Lord using Heretic Worship, just using his tankiness. Meanwhile, over here, Karl Kreutz looks like he's struggling a little bit. Looks like he got pushed back, lost his power node. I don't know if it was destroyed or just decapped and it was never built in the first place. But in any case, he's getting pushed back. And this is actually, oh my god, not such good positioning for Karl Kreutz, and he loses that Sentinel. And oh, this is not good for Karl. FrozenVapor being a little dominant in his lane, going for a triple Dire Avenger opening along with the Guardian Weapon Team. I've seen him do things like this before. It's a huge amount of range firepower, range spam you could even say, and then with the guide ability he can really send it over the top. So Nazzjack doing very well in his lane, FrozenVapor doing very well in his. Chaos Lord at this point I think is going to have to get out of there, taking a little too much damage. Looks like he's going for a flank on this. I was going to say on this Guardian Weapon Team, but he abandons that, probably realizing that with all these attacks and scouts coming to support, he probably would risk losing his Chaos Lord with that move. So blue team is pretty firmly well established in the middle at this point, with both players right there and most of their units there. There's a Dire Avenger army coming up, only one of them with their aspect so far. And I gotta say right now, red team not looking too good at all. Karl, he's got some Catachan Devils out, needs to get his power node. That's going to be a huge disadvantage for the red team to basically only have one power farm for as long as they've had it, with the blue team having full power farms. It's really going to make things hard for them, and I'm certainly interested to see how they're going to recover from this. Because the early game really, it is big. It is very big, especially in regards to power. If you bash power early on, you can shut your opponent out of tier 2, really secure an economic advantage, at least temporarily, but sometimes for the entire game. Raptors bleeding some models though off these Devastators. Get one? Can they get one more? No. If anything, I think they maybe should have turned around and gone for the Scouts. Probably would have gone another Scout model right there. So Nazzjack doing pretty well against Venjitron. Looks like he's about to force him off, but here comes some shotgun scouts to support. Fully upgraded, in fact, also have their sergeant, so they will be able to use shotgun blast as well as a grenade. Can be very powerful to use in retreat. Got to be very careful right here. Here goes a grenade, and it was a miss entirely. And that can be really scary, because one of the things I learned is that a grenade can actually wipe a heretic squad from full health. Even an aspiring champion heretic squad, it can wipe from full health. But oh my god, instead we have the scouts almost getting wiped. 3 scout models die. Only the sergeant gets out of there, and he does have quite a bit more health than the individual scout models. It's actually, I believe, 250. The scout sergeant is 250. The individual scout models only have 140 at level 1. Karl Kreutz not looking so great here. He's got a multi-laser turret set up. What he should do is he should go and capture this power node and stop giving the other team all this power. Get it for themselves. I think what Karl needs... Karl could probably stand to get an artillery spotter squad to help him deal with all these ranged units, and in particular the Guardian weapon team. Right now, unfortunately, his range blob, I think, is getting a little outshot by maybe the Eldar range blob, and especially what's really tipping the scales in FrozenVapor's favor is, of course, this Guardian weapon team. Because if Karl Kreutz gets his army suppressed, he's not going to be doing a lot of range damage, while FrozenVapor will still be doing a lot of range damage. So again, Karl Kreutz could get, definitely, I think, could get an artillery spotter, maybe even a heavy weapon team. So answer back with some suppression of his own. Could we have a grenade right here? Too late? Yeah, too late. I think that throw needed to be a little bit earlier. When you're going for a retreat grenade with scouts or dire avengers, don't run along with the units. Just throw the grenade. Throw the grenade, because the longer the retreating units run, the faster they get. And it's not immediately. After a certain amount of time, they will start running faster. But either way, you just don't want to do that. You want to go for the grenade while they're still going fairly slow. Devastators get jumped by the Raptors. There was some discussion about Raptors recently. In terms of, there was just some discussion about Raptors recently on the forums, and basically you can use them to hard counter Devastator Marines or any setup team really, as well as range blobs. There are, of course, some tricks. In some cases it can be difficult to use. Here goes 2 grenades, and we just get a full retreat. In some cases it can be a little difficult to use Raptors when there are a lot of other melee units around, especially in part because they suppress on landing rather than doing knockback, so they're definitely a bit more risky against other melee units than Assault Space Marines. Now this is not looking good at all right now. We already have a Wraithlord out. Venjitron is about to get out a Dreadnought. Neither Nazzjack or Karl are in Tier 2. Now Nazzjack, the problem with Nazzjack's build is that he's gone for, let's see, 2 ticks, a Chaos Space Marine, and a Raptor. Right now he literally has nothing that can scale into AV, I mean, or upgrade into AV. So he cannot upgrade any of his existing units to get AV. He will need to get entirely new units to do AV. Karl, I think, would be slightly better off. He can get a Meltagun on his Lord General, Meltagun on his Catachans. He can also get Stormtroopers out relatively easy, and that's a very hard source of AV. I'm just a little worried that right now it seems to be, as far as red team goes, it seems to be Nazzjack who's kind of been carrying the weight. Probably just the more experienced player. I haven't heard of Karl, but I've played with Nazzjack. But Karl is getting Melt-O-Storms. Nazzjack is also doing a lot of communicating. I like that. That might help them out a bit in this game, especially since, I mean, at least right now, the red team, they have the lead on VPs, but in many other ways, they've been losing the entire game. Certainly, if we look at the army compositions, the fact that the red team has never really had this power node, while the blue team has very comfortably had these power nodes. And that really does make a huge difference. And it's actually, at this point, Nazzjack is very smartly backing off, and what I like what I'm seeing from Nazzjack in terms of his kind of his team sense and his team playing, backing off when he sees that there are two people there, telling his teammate to back off, communicating to his teammates. So I like a lot of the things Nazzjack is doing, but right now his composition is really going to have a tough time against a lot of these compositions. I mean, what is he going to do? He doesn't have a whole lot of ranged fire. The ranged fire on the opposing army is quite a bit better. His Raptors are really I'm not sure how effectively they can jump in at this point with a squad of shotgun scouts, a dreadnought, and a Wraith Lord. At least right now, we do have a Plague Marine squad, and I think originally Nazzjack was getting a second Plague Marine squad, but he actually opted to get a Chaos Havoc squad. And I'm guessing we'll see a las cannon on it, and I'm right. And there goes a Manticore! Oh, good play from Venjitron, from Karl Kreutz, and you know what? He actually took out both of the scouts. He took out both of Venjitron's scouts. So a very nice play, making big plays to kind of put them back into this game. FrozenVapor is getting to tier 3, and soon Venjitron can go there as well. So they're definitely behind in tech, but they're making some good plays. And I think this combination of the Plague Marines and the las cannon is pretty smart. There are reasons that, because as a source of AV, the las cannon is pretty much better. Just in terms of its anti-vehicle capabilities, its hard anti-vehicle capabilities. It does more damage. It has a more powerful snare, although the snare doesn't last as long, and it has longer range. Oh my God! Answering back with that Manticore again. But what the Plague Marines have is staying power, and ironically mobility. Even though they're speed 4.5, which is very slow, but compared to a las cannon, which needs to set up. It is a very good thing to have non-setup AV, non-setup ranged AV. So Dreadnought gets out of there alive, but red team is now starting to look pretty good. Meanwhile, on this side, we do have these Melta Stormtroopers kind of just approaching with the rest of the Imperial Guard blob. They might want to cloak and just go somewhere else. Venjitron takes it to the face, using his face as his shield, but he does die. But both blue players going to tier 3. Not terribly surprising, considering they have had a significant tech advantage and power advantage all game. And at least right now, Karl Kreutz and Nazzjack are doing a nice job of holding in there. For now, they're doing okay, at least in part because Venjitron and FrozenVapor are only just getting to tier 3, and they haven't actually gotten out any tier 3 units. So right now, both teams are fighting tier 2 on tier 2. It's going to be a little bit trickier when it goes from tier 2 units fighting against tier 3 units. But they can still do it. It is definitely still possible to stay in a game even when you are in tier 2. And here we go with a bit of a flank from Karl. He might be in a really good position to go after this Wraith Lord. He just needs to be careful about the Dire Avengers. They're probably about to throw a bunch of grenades. There goes a Melt-A-Bomb, but there also goes an Old Reliable. Why are the Stormtroopers meleeing? Oh no, so Stormtroopers go down. So Karl was looking good, and then he derped a bit. And here goes some more grenades. Oh no. And that's going to be the end of the Kashan Devils as well. Oh. Alright, so that looks like it could have potentially gone very well for Karl, but definitely not such great micro choices there, or just micro. But it's now a triple cap for the red team, so it is triple cap back in their favor. 272 and 214 VPs. And Karl is deciding to get another Manticore. And he's been doing well with his Manticore, although he's asking his teammate if he wants a bunker. And they've actually pretty much taken the map. And now it looks like Nazzjack is finally maybe going to get a Gen Bash off. He could just literally just start targeting all these units, targeting all these generators with the las cannon, everything else here, and he could probably take out a few generators. The only problem is at this point, certainly in terms of the power bash, that's not terribly significant. At this point, the main advantage, I'd say, of doing this is really just getting the red. Well, there are actually some considerations. FrozenVapor, he's already invested in a bunch of tier 3 things, but it doesn't look, or mainly this D-Cannon, it doesn't look like he's gotten anything else yet, like something like an Avatar or a Fire Prism. Ooh, Chaos Space Marines need to retreat. Oh god, Chaos Space Marines really need to retreat out of there. took a D-cannon shot, and this is going to be... Oh, no! Venjitron just not paying attention, and the Manticore takes out his heavy bolter team, takes out 3 Stern Guard models. We got a D-cannon laying in with some more shots. And the Chaos Lord is now in here, only with the Lightning Claws, but it looks like Nazzjack is getting some more upgrades. Nazzjack, meanwhile, he did lose a Heretic squad at some point. I did not see that. I feel like it might have even been a while ago, and he's kind of forced off the field. Meanwhile, this Manticore really, really needs to move back, because otherwise there's not a whole lot it can do. And Karl Kreutz, he's in not such a great position right now with having Manticores, but no real AV. No other, like, well, even though Manticores can do a lot of AV damage, you might want to turn these Stormtroopers into anti-armor kit Stormtroopers. But it is going to be tough for the blue team to deal with, I think, 2 Manticores. 2 Manticores really can be tough to deal with. And I think they might even want to make a called shot and even say something like, if he has 2 Manticores, he might not have much real AV. The only problem with that is that these Stormtroopers can definitely quickly upgrade to have a Meltagun. Lord General actually does have a Meltagun himself, and he's also getting stabilizers, and he has a full retinue. He does have a full retinue. Yep, Sergeant, the Commissar, and the Vox Operator. That's going to do a lot of interesting things to the Lord General that a lot of people probably don't even know. Commissar gives you the refractor field ability, as well as giving you, I believe, a passive damage increase. Sergeant, of course, giving you the med pack ability, and the Vox Operator allowing you to do a Valkyrie reinforcement ability, as well as, I believe, improving the Lord General's speed. And here we go, actually, with a Terminator Force Commander, has been upgraded with the Assault Cannon. 59.73 DPS piercing, which is definitely an old retail value, but at the same time, I don't think that's been changed. And especially in part, I don't think we see a whole lot of Assault Cannon Terminator Force Commander. Here we go with a Creeping Barrage. That, I guess, just scared FrozenVapor off. And, I mean, overall, the red team looking okay. Looking okay. So there are 2 Manticores, and that is, you know, and that could be doing a lot, because it's one of the ways you often react to a Manticore is you just retreat. Part of the reason you do that is just because it's pretty safe. You will probably not lose squads if you retreat. Whereas if you don't retreat, if you try not to retreat, but you don't actually react and micro your units away, you can really take some really incredible losses. Here we go with a Terminator Force Commander trying to teleport in. There goes a Manticore Strike. Probably going to hit this Guardian Weapon team right here. Or just miss everything. I don't know what he was going for there. And a Raptor model just explodes right there. Here we go with a Heavy Turret. Heavy Turret, interesting choice. And I think with all this AB right here... Oh, the Heavy Turret already taking a lot of damage. And here we go with some Assault Terminators as well. This is starting to look like a winning engagement for the blue team. Grenade going in on the Havoc. That's going to be a wipe on the Havoc, I think. Havoc goes down for Nazzjack. That's not good. Now he's only left with his Plague Marines, which are the weaker source of AV. And they actually... The blue team, or the red team rather, has still not taken out either one of these walkers. Wait a minute. Yes, either one of these walkers. We still have a... We still have this Assault Cannon Dreadnought. We got the Wraith Lord. We got a Manticore Strike going in on some Guardian Weapons teams, forcing them off. They have still not taken out these. And yeah, we need like an opportunity anti-armor kit upgrade now on that. And oh man, so there we got Karl Kreutz microing out of that Eldritch Storm. That was an Eldritch Storm, desperate Eldritch Storm. Probably hoping to take out both of those. Probably hoping to take out both of those Manticores and getting neither one. All right, Nazzjack now starting to answer with a Dreadnought of his own. He might want to get a Tzeentch missile launcher on that, since I don't know, just in terms of using it as AV. Right now, I think they really want to try to deal with these vehicles because they're getting more powerful. The Dreadnought's almost level 2. It's in Tier 3 and has been upgraded to have Dark Age of technology. And the Wraith Lord is level 2, has a Shuriken cannon, and is also has the Wraith Bone ability. Oh god, now we got Assault Terminators. So, unfortunately, I think Karl Kreutz needs to stop getting these heavy turrets. They are not working out for him, and they're. I mean, for giving up 2 of them, that's a lot of resources to just give up. And now we have the Avatar. I don't know what Nazzjack and Karl Kreutz are going to do here. We do have a Tzeentch missile launcher. Some other things. Well, we do have some Mark of Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines. Good, that's important. I mean, Karl Kreutz has been getting some interesting upgrades, and I'm using interesting in a way that's putting it very lightly. I think he might want to get Plasma Guardsmen. He might also want to get not Assault Kit, Anti-Armor Kit Stormtroopers. And right now, Nazzjack is being doubled by a bunch of Tier 3 things. He's getting hit incredibly hard, and he just needs to get out of there. And oh no, this could be really bad for his Dreadnought. Right now, I mean, Karl's going for a back cap, and that should be able to give them a VP advantage. And I mean, they are like fairly close. I mean, they're winning on VPs. I think they just need to be careful. But Nazzjack has had a lot of good game sense the whole game. Just in terms of, I mean, he just got doubled, and he really didn't lose anything. And now he's actually being really threatening and using that Chaos Lord speed right now, or the warship, to actually be really threatening. And these Terminators should actually not stay there. Dreadnought finally goes down, and Nazzjack does it all by himself. Meanwhile, we're also going to have the Lightning Claw Terminators go down as well. So wow, some really, again, just good game sense from Nazzjack pretty much all game. Knowing when to back off, knowing when to push forward. Knowing when to coordinate with his teammate. So Karl finally does get some Plasma Guardsmen. He's going to need that for the Avatar. I mean, he should get it for any Space Marine things as well. And it's actually right. Oh, we have some caps going on all over the map. We got Plague Marines decapping right here. We got some Scouts going for a back cap, as well as some Dire Avengers back capping right here. It's a no-cap game. More Manticore strikes. And now we got the Chaos Lord just straight up tanking and just going for it. And the Force Commander is trying to force him off, has activated Battle Cry, but he's just not doing enough damage to this tanky Chaos Lord, and he also can't knock him off. Here we go. Oh, this is going to be bad. Alright, Chaos Lord does not die, but yeah, he couldn't stay there, unfortunately, and a drop pod. Just a drop pod randomly. It appears to be... Never mind. Alright, oh, this is not good. Not so good. Yeah, the Dreadnought needs to get out of there. Alright, Dreadnought just needs to make sure it wasn't path blocked by itself. Dreadnought should maybe turn around, take shots at the Avatar, but it doesn't. Just wants to go back and get support, I guess. But double cap now for the red team. The blue team. Oh my god. Double cap for the blue team. And they're low on VPs, despite in many ways they were doing very well in the early game. Venjitron has kind of been falling apart a little. Here we go. Is this going to be a rocket runner or a creeping barrage? Grenades going in and just taking it. But the creeping barrage also just scares off all of those Dire Avengers. Meanwhile, over here, we got a Force Commander going in. Here goes the Manticore Strike, going to scare off all these units. Venjitron just has not been on it as far as those Manticore Strikes, and he loses another Scout Squad. I think that's the 3rd Scout Squad. Here we go with a Predator from Venjitron. He's also got a Terminator Force Commander who is dead, so he's mainly got Stern Guards and this Predator. Predator can certainly give a Chaos Dreadnought a little bit of trouble. Nazzjack is going to need his Plague Marines back up here if he wants to save his Predator. But now that he has his Plague Marines, he should actually go for the Predator. And you know what? I bet he's going to do that. And yep, that's exactly what he's doing. Another Manticore Strike. And you know what? He's probably going to take out the Predator. Just a few more hits, and he takes out the Predator. I wouldn't even be surprised if he also takes out the Wraith Lord right now. He's actually going for the cap. That's bold. Needs to be very, very careful. But, I mean, he's doing it in part because they don't have a whole lot of time. Actually gets the decap off. And I bet now he can even take out the Wraith Lord. Take out the Wraith Lord. Just go for the Wraith Lord. And he's actually just getting out of the way. But you know what? Tzeentch Missile Launcher. This Mark of Tzeentch, and there's a singularity, but not doing a whole lot. The Mark of Tzeentch Chaos Dreadnought it's a good unit. And I mean, it normally would lose to tanks, but what Nazzjack did there is that he used the combination of the Dreadnought and the Plague Marines. And with the Dreadnought and the Plague Marines, then the Dreadnought can beat the tank. Got a little bit of a range blob, and finally Karl is microwing, but he retreats for no reason. But Venjitron has been very sneaky with these back caps. 2-1, but Nazzjack will definitely get this decap. But, so yeah. I mean, this Dreadnought took out the, this Dreadnought took out the Predator, it took out the Wraith Lord. I wonder if he even was involved in taking out the Avatar. We got a fully kitted out Farseer, Armor of the Assyrian. We've been seeing that with the Time Field ability, Doombringer, and Runes of Reaping. Nazzjack, meanwhile, he's got the ultra tanky build for the Chaos Lord. Oh no, this could finally be the end of this Chaos Dreadnought. This Chaos Dreadnought has been such a hero. But we got a special attack, and the special attack missed. And actually, the Chaos Dreadnought's going to get out alive. I'd say the only issue I foresee right here is that Nazzjack is kind of being very much distracted right in front of his base. Very close in front of his base. And he does want to be able to hold his natural VP, but right now, at the moment, he's not exactly pushing up into the middle where they need to get another VP. And Nazzjack loses a squad of heretics, decides he's going to get another. I think Nazzjack is still in Tier 2. So that's why he's floating a massive amount of red. And he's actually might even take out these Stern Guards. Oh, he doesn't go for it. I think, you know, he maybe could have jumped with the Raptors and taken out the Stern Guards. Meanwhile, over here, we got another heavy turret. I don't like these heavy turrets. But yeah, Nazzjack is in Tier 2, so he's at 999 red because he can't use an Abyss or get Terminators. He should actually start using other things. In particular, he could use Bloodlust Global, especially in the middle of an engagement, as well as Blood Sacrifice. He should just use those. I mean, even right now, hell, use it on a Raptor. Just make sure you win the game. And here we go with some scouts. They might get the decap off, but they're starting to take some missile shots. And they're just taking it. Scout model dies. They get the decap off. It is a no-cap game. 29-16 VPs. And Raptors getting out of here. Fairly low health, but still have all of their models. And man, I mean, the Autarch is going to go down trying to get that cap. Oh, and just jumps right into the Guardsman. And alright, so FrozenVapor manages to keep the capture point with that. No, do not. I actually think he should not resume capture with the... Well, you know what? He should resume capture, get the decap off, and now go for the Avatar. No, not retreat. Alright, well, maybe he should have retreated given all this support from the Dire Avengers coming in. And the VPs are very important right now, so maybe I should not talk about that, because there are times when I'm saying you should go for units when maybe you should actually just go for the VPs. It's 16-16, single cap game. Force Commander goes down, and there goes another Predator. Taking Manticore strikes, and then finally a Plague Marine missile. These Plague Marines have definitely been heroes the entire game. And they're level 4, and the health the regeneration and staying power they're going to have from that is going to be pretty incredible. I think we should get some more force melee from these Chaos units. You know what? With a squad of Plague Marines, Raptors, and Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines should just force melee with the Chaos units, because you would win against all of the Dire Avengers. That being said, game is finished 16-0, and the blue team actually takes it, but very well played by the red team to stay in the game, particularly by Nazzjack. A lot of good game sense and good decisions on his part and good plays. Hope you enjoyed the cast. Have a good night.